Hey everyone, this is Lisa from Life in Layouts, and today I'm back with day 8 from the March Madness Sketch Challenge for Scrap Now, Sleep Later. This is the page map sketch that we're going to be using, and I actually just recently used this sketch, so I'm excited to figure out a different way to use it up. I'm going to be using this old collection from Echo Park called Hello Summer. I'm going to be using this in the next couple of layouts. I didn't realize how much paper I had, and because I've also been trying to use my silhouette more, I figured why not go ahead and use up this paper and get some of it done, because there's not a whole lot of the embellishment pieces left, but there's a ton of paper. These photos are of my nephews, my mom, and I, even though I am in none of the photos because I'm the one with the camera, and we are on a family water slide at Typhoon Lagoon. And I think the reason that I haven't really scrapbooked these photos, I have a ton of photos from when we visited Typhoon Lagoon, is because I don't really have Waterslide or water park paper, and I do scrapbook very themed base, and so it's been very difficult. But this month, that is all out the window. All I'm doing is focusing on, does this paper match? Can I use it? Is it something that I can use? Pull out my silhouette, try to get some layouts done, because I am just over the amount of collections that I have, and I just want to get layouts done. These aren't the best photos because obviously we are moving on a water slide, and I'm using a water camera, which those are never the best, but I took what I could from the ones that I took, and Eli's expression on these photos is hilarious, especially the one at the very bottom on the right hand side. It's not the greatest picture, and had Eli's face not been as amazing as it was, I wouldn't have printed it, because my mom's all washed out because the sun caught her right in her face, so she's super bright, but Eli's face is just too precious to not include. The sketch itself calls for kind of a bigger piece behind the photos, which is what I use that blue paper for, and then it also calls for a longer strip that is on both the left and right side of the layout. And of course what I end up doing was putting it on one side, moving that particular side of the layout over to the other side, and then lining them up that way to make sure that they are straight, even though they're far enough apart in the layout that you probably wouldn't notice it if they weren't. I like to try to make it as straight as possible, because I'm not always that great at it. Up there in the top left hand side, I just had this random piece of paper. I have no idea. It already had the corners rounded out, and it was just a weird shape, but I was I'm just gonna stick it up there and make it work. I cover up the ends, and it actually turns out really nice. It just looks kind of like a little tuck of red up there. The sketch called for dotted lines down here at the bottom, maybe stitching, but not really putting a whole lot of effort into that type of things in my layouts. So I decided to put a 1/4 inch strip, and I have this big fat striped paper. I think that it works well there. It doesn't really look like a striped piece of paper since it's such a fat piece. It looks more like just blocks of color, and I like that look on the top and bottom of that yellow. And then I had this other piece of green scrap, and it wasn't really long enough, so I just cut it and paper pieced it together, and I'm going to end up putting something in that little spot there, that little hole that I've created, so you wouldn't even know that I cut it up. And then actually I have that whole green strip on the far left hand side, and I don't even see it at the end. It covered up completely with the photos. I didn't even think to move it over enough so that I could still see it. It is what it is. Then I had this one photo of my mom. It actually was cut off from one of the other photos, and my mom is really cut off in a lot of these photos, because I was really focusing more on Malachi and Eli. So I was you know what? It works here. It's a little bit smaller. It's not really what the layout calls for, but I'm going to go with it because it's the only photo that I have of really her. And again, it's not the best photo. The way she was sitting in the tube, she always was in the direct sun, which is funny because the tube spins. She just always got the sun. I miss the water parks so much at Disney World. So in 2020, we had a big shutdown here in Orlando, in the Disney area. Disney completely shut down. It took a while for them to reopen the water parks, even after they opened the actual parks. But this year we have gotten our water park passes back, and I'm super excited to be back at Disney during their water parks. I pulled out my silhouettes, and I got this cut file from Miss Kate's Cuttables. I love her cuts. She has some fun cuts. I just love her SVGs, and they're pretty reasonably priced. She does have some on the Silhouette store, but she also has some other bundles like on her website as well, and that's where I got this one. It came with this water slide, which is a big splash of water. It also came with a inner tube that had a big splash of water behind it as well. So I cut both of those out, and I miss paper piecing. It is a lot of work to paper piece, but it's just so fun. Like, that water slide is just perfect, and I put it at the edge of the photo. I just loved it. I'm in love with my Silhouette, and I forgot how much I loved it. And it is a lot more work than pulling out embellishments out of the pack and just going with it. But these layouts are turning out really, really cute. I decided to cut out the title Waterslide Fun, and I just found a font that was like scripty, and then one of the features on the Silhouette is to shadow it, and then you can shadow the shadow, so it gives you like a 3-layer shadow. And so that's what I did. I cut it out in a like an aqua green color, a pink color, and then the actual title itself is cut in white, and I put that up on fun foam. I pulled out pieces from my embellishment books, and it's really just pulling out like just color pieces that would match. So I pulled out color pieces in red, pink, green, and a little bit of orange. I found these triangles that I'm going to use as kind of like a banner piece to cover up that hole. I put one flat, and then the two on the far right and left are up on fun foam. I found this splatter or flower, but it kind of looks like a water splatter in green, and I put that over on the far right hand side. I also found this bottle that says, "This is my happy place." So, you know, Disney is my happy place. Being in the water is my happy place. So being at a Disney water park, that's like double happy place. So I felt like, even though there's no drinks or sodas or anything like that on this page, I went with it because wording fit. I pulled out my enamel shapes in a blue, a pink, and an orange, and added that to each one of my clusters, and then that is it. I want to again encourage you guys to go check out the Scrap Now, Sleep Later Facebook group so that you can join in on this madness this month of March as we are doing a layout a day. You have a chance to win a daily prize, a weekly prize, and the grand prize, which is a $100 gift certificate to Close to My Heart. Here's my final layout, as well as some close-ups. If you enjoyed this video, if you wouldn't mind giving me a thumbs up, I'd really appreciate it. If you haven't done so already and you want to see more double page layout inspiration, make sure you hit that subscribe button. Thanks everyone for watching, and I hope that you have a scrappy day.